This Audi cost $58,000 new. Today, it's listed for $16,000. That's not actually the number that matters. What matters is what it costs to own for the next 5 years, starting from that $16,000. Because with most used cars, the price tag is the biggest number you'll ever pay. With this one, it might end up being the smallest. Here's why. When you buy a used Audi, you're not really buying one car. You're buying 3 technologies that Audi built separately, priced separately, and packaged together like they're one thing. Quattro all-wheel drive, the TFSI turbocharged engine, the DSG dual-clutch gearbox. Each one is genuinely brilliant engineering. Each one also has its own failure window, and most buyers have no idea which window they're walking into. This video is the forensics on all 3. Audi's whole pitch comes down to one word: Vorsprung, advancement through technology. It's not just a slogan, it's the actual design brief. Every major Audi, the A4, the A6, the Q5, the Q7, is built around the same 3 engineering choices that set it apart from a mainstream car. Permanent all-wheel drive through Quattro, turbocharged direct injection engines from the TFSI family, and dual-clutch gearboxes through DSG and S-Tronic. Brand new, those 3 systems work together beautifully. Quattro shifts torque in real time. TFSI gives you performance without killing efficiency. DSG shifts faster than any regular automatic ever could. The result is a car that just feels more precisely engineered than most things at the same price point. But that precision comes with a cost structure attached, and it doesn't get any simpler once the warranty runs out. Back in 2021, a buyer we'll call Daniel found a 2015 Audi A6 Quattro on AutoTrader. $17,500, 64,000 miles, 1 owner, clean service history. He drove it 4 months without a single issue. Then the DSG gearbox started hesitating at low speed. An independent specialist put it up on the lift. DSG mechatronic unit, $2,100. The warranty had expired 7 months earlier. Daniel paid. There wasn't really another option. 8 months after that, the check engine light came on. Carbon buildup on the TFSI intake valves, a known issue on any direct injection engine. Walnut blasting to clean them, $600. Not a disaster, still not free. 14 months later, the rear differential, part of the Quattro system, started leaking. A seal replacement and fluid service at an Audi specialist, $900. Daniel didn't have one problem. He had 3, from 3 different systems spread across 26 months. Each one was predictable. Each one shows up regularly in owner forums. None of them showed up on the Carfax. He paid $17,500 for the car and another $3,600 in repairs before it hit its 3rd year. The car wasn't unreliable. The 3 technologies inside it were simply running right on schedule. This video is the schedule Daniel never got to see. 3 technologies, 3 failure windows. All 3 sitting in almost every used Audi you'll find on the market. Quattro, Audi's permanent all-wheel drive system, standard on the A4, A6, Q5, Q7, and most performance trims. Brand new, it's one of the most capable AWD systems you can get at any price. Used, the maintenance is specific, and a general mechanic usually can't touch it. Transfer case fluid, rear differential fluid, and Haldex coupling service on the transverse engine cars All have their own intervals that plenty of owners miss. Skip the Haldex service, and you end up with clutch pack failure. A $1,800 to $3,200 repair. A diff leak caught late turns into a diff replacement. None of this is random. It's just expensive once it's ignored. The TFSI engine. Audi's turbocharged direct-injection petrol engine. The 2.0 TFSI shows up in the A4 and Q5. The supercharged 3.0 TFSI shows up in the A6, A7, and Q7. Because direct injection sprays fuel straight into the combustion chamber, the intake valves never get the fuel wash that a port-injected engine gets, so carbon builds up on the back of them over time. You'll notice it as a rough idle, hesitation, and a gradual loss of efficiency. Walnut blasting every 40,000 to 60,000 miles runs $400 to $700. It's not catastrophic, but it's not something you can skip on a well-kept car either. The early 2.0 TFSI B8 platform cars from 2009 to 2012 also has a well-documented oil consumption problem, so checking the oil between services isn't optional on those. DSG, also called S-Tronic, Audi's dual-clutch transmission. The 7-speed S-Tronic is the one you'll find in most used Audis on the market. A4, A5, A6, Q5. Dual-clutch gearboxes shift faster than a regular automatic because they pre-select the next gear while the current one's still engaged. New, that's seamless. Used, the mechatronic unit, the combined mechanical and electronic control module, tends to develop issues somewhere in the 60,000 to 90,000 mile range. Shuddering at low speed, hesitation pulling away. A mechatronic repair runs $1,800 to $2,800. A full DSG replacement runs $4,500 to $6,500. It also needs a fluid service every 40,000 miles, and most buyers don't know that because most sellers never did it. 3 technologies, 3 maintenance schedules, 3 failure windows, all in the same car, and none of them visible in the listing. 1 Audi, 3 invoices. Here are 3 things most used Audi buyers get wrong before they sign anything. First, Audi and VW share parts, so any VW mechanic can service an Audi. Partly true. The platforms do overlap, but the Quattro drivetrain, the DSG calibration, and the TFSI's long-term adaptation data all need Audi-specific diagnostic software. A VW mechanic can change your oil fine. They generally can't diagnose a DSG adaptation issue or pull the Quattro transfer case health data. That diagnostic gap is real, and it's exactly what shows up as a repair bill when the wrong fix gets applied to the right symptom. Second, a full service history means the car was properly maintained. It means the owner documented what they chose to document. DSG fluid service, Haldex coupling service, TFSI valve cleaning. Audi recommends all of these, and plenty of owners skip them, mostly because none of them trigger the standard dashboard service reminder. A car can have a perfect stamp book and still have never had its Haldex fluid changed. The stamps prove the oil got changed. They don't prove the specialist work that decides whether you're buying ahead of a failure or already behind one. The riskiest used Audi isn't the one with missing stamps. It's the one with a perfect stamp history and 3 undocumented specialist services that should have happened at 40,000 miles. Third, Audi holds its value better than BMW, so it must be more reliable. Depreciation and reliability aren't the same measurement. A used Audi A6 and a used BMW 5 Series at the same price point tend to have similar reliability overall. Different failure points, similar frequency, similar cost. Audi doesn't hold value because it breaks less. It holds value because of how the brand is positioned in the used market. Paying more for a used Audi isn't a reliability premium, it's a badge premium. The generation matters. The exact configuration matters more. Here's the breakdown. A 4 B8 platform, 2009 to 2016. Buy a 2013 to 2016 model with S-Tronic and documented DSG and valve cleaning history. The later cars fixed the oil consumption issue. Kept up properly, you're looking at roughly $1,400 a year in upkeep. Avoid an early 2009 to 2012 car with high mileage and no paperwork on oil consumption or valve cleaning. The issue is manageable if you're watching it. Without documentation, you're inheriting an unknown. A 6 C7 platform, 2012 to 2018. Buy one with documented specialist history. This generation's engine is more refined, and the gearbox is the more reliable 7-speed. Expect around $1,600 a year with proper maintenance. Weigh the 3.0 supercharged version carefully. It's an extraordinary engine, but the supercharger belt and tensioner get ignored by a lot of owners, and a bearing failure is a serious repair. Buy it with documented service history. Without it, price that risk into your offer. Q58R platform, 2009 to 2017. The Q5 is the most searched used Audi out there, and it's also where the Haldex coupling issue shows up most, mostly because Q5 buyers tend to know less about the specialist maintenance than A4 or A6 buyers do. Buy one with documented Haldex service at regular intervals and DSG fluid service. Expect around $1,500 a year. Avoid a Q5 with no Haldex documentation past 60,000 miles. Clutch pack failure in the coupling isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. And past that mileage with no service, you're already inside the window. A8 D4 platform, 2010 to 2018. The forensic take here is simple. The A8 is the most complex used Audi on the market. Air suspension, a twin-turbo V8, and all three earlier technology risks stacked on top of each other. Every failure costs more because every system is more expensive. Only buy one with all three of these in place. An independent specialist inspection, an extended warranty already sorted, and a 5-year budget with real room in it for specialist maintenance. Missing any one of those, get the A6 instead. Same badge, half the risk. 3 buyers, 3 Audis, built from typical ownership patterns, not one specific deal. Buyer A picked up a 2012 A4 with no service records at all, no DSG documentation, no Haldex documentation. It cost $11,500 up front. That's where the cheap part ended. The DSG needed a mechatronic repair. The Haldex coupling was already overdue when he bought it. The TFSI needed its valves cleaned. Add all of that to 5 years of ordinary insurance and upkeep, and the car ends up costing him about $25,000 in total, more than double what it looked like at the curb. Buyer B did the opposite. She bought a 2015 Q5 for $19,500, but only after an independent Audi specialist checked it over, and the paperwork backed it up. DSG service done, Haldex service done, valves already cleaned. Her 5 years looked almost boring. A routine fluid change here, a routine coupling service there. The specialist even caught a worn CV boot early and fixed it cheaply before it became a real problem. No surprises,
no five-figure repair bills. All in, her total ownership cost came out to about $23,000, less than buyer A paid for a nicer, newer car. Buyer C took a different approach entirely. A 2014 A4 with no Quattro at all, front-wheel drive, a simple conventional automatic, full service history. Purchase price, $13,500. With no DSG and no Haldex system to maintain, his ownership costs stayed low and predictable the whole way through. 5 years in, his total cost of ownership landed at about $15,500, $9,000 less than buyer A, for a car that was arguably easier to live with. Same brand, 3 completely different outcomes. It wasn't the badge that decided the result. It was the technology package underneath it, and whether the paperwork proved it had been looked after.
The Quattro is the promise. The DSG is the price. 3 things to check before you sign for any used Audi. 1. Get an independent Audi specialist pre-purchase inspection. Not a VW mechanic, not a general shop. Make sure it covers DSG adaptation data pulled from specialist software, a Haldex coupling condition check, a TFSI oil consumption check, and a supercharger belt inspection on any 3.0 TFSI. This isn't the kind of inspection a quick lube shop does. It's a proper diagnostic that costs a couple $100 and can flag thousands in repairs before they happen. Audi World and Audi Zine both have specialist directories worth checking before you even go look at the car. 2. Ask for the 3 service records before you even look at price or mileage. DSG fluid service, Haldex coupling service if it's Quattro, TFSI valve cleaning. If the car's past 50,000 miles and any of those 3 are missing, the work has probably never been done. So price that into your offer before you negotiate. A missing DSG service on a car with real mileage might just be a cheap fluid change waiting to happen. Or it might already be an expensive mechatronic repair if it's been put off too long. 3. Think about the front-wheel drive version before you commit to Quattro. Both the A4 and A6 come in front-wheel drive with a conventional automatic. It's a less involving drive, sure, but the 5-year ownership cost is meaningfully lower because you're removing 2 of the 3 technology risks entirely. If you actually live somewhere Quattro earns its keep, ice, snow, mountain roads, that's a clear case for it. If you're in a mild climate and just want it because it sounds good in the listing, run the 5-year math first. Follow all 3, and you end up with a genuinely great car at a fair price. Skip the documentation check, and you end up owning 3 separate service schedules you never knew existed. Audi genuinely builds impressive cars. The Quattro system is one of the most capable all-wheel drive setups ever put into a mainstream car. The TFSI engine family delivers performance most competitors can't match at the same displacement. The DSG shifts faster than most drivers will ever notice. All 3 of those are true when the car is new. Used, all 3 of those technologies come with maintenance schedules most buyers never see, and failure windows most sellers never mention. A documented, specialist-verified Q5 is one of the most satisfying used cars you can buy under $20,000. An undocumented A4 with 3 missed service intervals isn't really the cheap car it looks like on paper. It's an expensive ownership decision that just happens to start with a low price tag. Audi doesn't really sell you a car. It sells you 3 technologies in one body. Know which ones you're buying and what they'll cost once the warranty's gone. Markets don't price cars. They price expectations.